Good morning. What up? What up? How y'all doing? Doing good. Christmas week. Yeah, I had some Monday technical stuff trying to get set up, but didn't look like I missed a whole lot. Pushed down, pushed up. Good to see you here, Cedric. Uh, Morning. Let's see what those volume levels look like. All right. By the way, you guys, I've got some requests from members to start looking at gold in the morning too. So I'm gonna try and remember to I'm gonna try to remember to get to do gold as well. So if you guys can remind me if you're trading gold and you're like, hey, you know what, need to look at gold or whatever, just let me know. See if you can. I think y'all could see my screen here. Yeah, and just just call it out every now and then. If I haven't looked at gold or whatever, if you're trading gold, let me know and I will pull it up on the chart every now and then. I've got my Addis set up so I could see I've got gold and I've got um Nasdaq. So both of them just sitting right next to each other, the exact same. And we'll just see if we can see anything setting up. So I'm gonna look for Titans on both of them, and then I'm gonna look for mainly order flow on gold as well. So if you guys have questions on that, need help on that, let me know. I have not. I've looked at it, but I haven't traded it myself. Not silver. Yes, somebody was telling me about silver, and they were saying that you really gotta be like ready to trade silver if you're trading. It's like the tick value is a lot on there. That's crazy. 25 bucks a tick, huh? Yeah, be ready to go. All right, we just came down to one of our volume levels on Nasdaq. Opened up, pushed straight down. Nasdaq is pushing down, man, from 792 or 794 all the way down to 682. 100 points right out of the open. Look at the liquidity map right here, the algorithmic type of trading. If you look closely, you see these buys that are stacked in here. when you see it perfect like that, there's normally an algorithm or like some kind of an algo running. Can somebody yes, I am. It's very, very echoey. Nope, me neither. It was only when I was talking. I think somebody just had their mic on. Everybody get him. Looking kind of weird this morning with just watching this liquidity map over here, seeing those orders come in. If you'll pay close attention to, I know this looks a little crazy, but if you just focus on it and pay attention, all you're seeing is just like if you have a regular DOM where you can see limit orders above and below. This is showing you limit orders above and below, but it's showing you them like transposed onto the chart. So if there are limit orders, here or there, then you're seeing that just being displayed on the chart. The bigger the limit orders, the kind of brighter the color. So I'm gonna wait until I see it happening again. It'll probably happen when it gets down and closer to these lows. I'm just seeing a lot of algorithmic type of trading stuff that's happening here. Not right now, but like this right here. Like if you look quickly at where my mouse is, when you see it getting liquidity getting stacked in there, like that stair step going up, 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 up. Every time I see that, there's a little bit of a correlation with price. Either just like this right here, where you can see them getting stacked down. When it does like this right here, and you'll see price getting pushed down during those times right there. Anytime you see it going stack like that, it's the weirdest thing. I can't quite get my brain wrapped around what exactly is going on yet, but it's a pattern that I'm seeing. Look, it happened right here too. So remember, these are limit orders, passive orders. They're not even being placed on the market, but just the fact of the limit orders being placed on the book seems to affect price somehow. And I'm thinking it has something to do with how like how these robots work, how like whenever liquidity is placed or removed. I think like, all right, let's say yeah, algorithm. Let's say that it is um seeking liquidity, right? And so when it sees liquidity placed on the market, it starts to try to trade up towards that, right? And so by placing and removing that liquidity, it makes those algos I don't like saying that word go up, and buy. It makes it either start to buy or makes it start to sell. But yeah, I could see a lot of it this morning, which is not what you normally see. Getting a buy setup right here. Good morning. Oh my goodness, kids are out of school. Is everyone's kids out of school right now? We don't have no school drop-offs this week. Mine are all sleeping. I'm not making a noise. I got every door shut. I'm I'll be here silent. Well, we've had one Titan come through so far. I didn't take the trade, but we would have lost that. It was a couple ticks away from TP, but it didn't quite get it. Market's not too volatile this morning. You see, set up here. This one's 22 points. Not anything crazy, crazy. Mm, mm, mm. Mm. All right, I got them both up. So I got gold over here, Nasdaq over there. Gold just hit. Mm, mm. You guys trading or you just watching? All right. Me neither yet. Yet. It's hard to look at with those all those things overlapping. Mm, mm, mm. Gold is flying. Nice. See a bunch of orders up at 65, which makes sense. It's right up at the daily high. See what it does when it reaches up there. Nasdaq's kind of curving around too, delta wise. All right, it went up there. A lot of trading right at that 65 level. I'm gonna watch it. Oh. Mm, 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 mm. A little bit of divergence between the last major high that it just hit and the current one. If you look at delta, I'm kind of watching gold to see if the candle closes down. It's in development, so hard to tell yet. But basically, if it closes where it's at, uh, now it's big. It is a sell. If it went above it, I wouldn't want to be buying. That's for sure. I mean, if it went above it, I wouldn't want to be selling. But everything lined up for a sale in regards to like price action, order flow, all that good stuff. It's just a little bigger of a candle, so kind of a bigger trade to start the day out with. Mhm, 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 mhm. I got that song in my head. Yeah, and I actually woke up like that this morning. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Oops, wrong button. I know it's this one. Mm, 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 mm. Oh yeah, you know what? I think they got one right there. Yep, very nice. That gold move here, it did give a nice retrace type of entry where you could have entered with a lot lower risk. Well, didn't look too bad. You see that pull back into that same area that I was talking about. Could have been a nice way to like to get in there. If you got basically if you would have gotten in there and then just traded back down to the low, you're almost making the same amount if you would have just traded at the close of that candle. I like those. Kind of like a red zone trade where you had an idea, your plan is to get in, but then you're like, "Oh, look, if you didn't get in, there you go. And then all of a sudden it comes back and it's like, hey, by the way, here's another entry, like a lower risk entry. Wow, those are spicy. Mango habanero. Mm. I told you she wanted to sell. Let's see if it goes to that TP. Yeah, this is called a recharge. I don't know. My girlfriend bought them. They're like these little. Kind of reminds you of like a what are those called? You know, they're almost like breath mints, but they're actually sweet and they're kind of like icebreakers. There we go. Icebreaker makes them, and they're really sweet. They're really good. But these are made by somebody named Respawn, and they have like theanine, vitamin B5 and B12. But this one is a mango habanero flavored one, and that's spicy. Yeah. Oh, did any of you guys jump in and take this sale? I just hit TP for $350 on it. I got in right here. I got in and then got stuck in the drawdown and then the Titan signal popped up. That made me feel good when I seen that Titan signal. Whoa, look just like this. Huh? It was. Look, it came look at what it did though. It was a new high of the day, so it swept the high. All the volume was up here in this area. And then so it flushed right there, right? This is what I seen as the flush. And so I entered, but it gapped down. So I actually got even a worse entry than I wanted. Entered there, put my stop here, which was about $350 total risk. And then the freaking thing pulled back to the zone. This is what I'm talking about, is that it would have been nice to get a lower risk. So you can see that I went in right here and I got out right there. But I could have gotten in all the way right here. And if I would have traded down there, I would have made 590 instead of 350. But that's the first trade I've taken today. So now Nasdaq is flying off the 5 minute zone, you say? Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, it set up a nice little Titan down here too, huh? Oh no, that one went up, then down, then up. You sent over a what? Oh, you talking about the video? Okay. All right, I'll look at that when we're done trading here. Mhm. Oh, nice, Todd. I see you got the trade too. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Yeah, that was good. There was a price action reason, volume reason to trade, and then we got that Titan right at the same time. Can't can't beat it. We're getting a Titan set up right here on Nasdaq. We got 30 seconds left. Let's see. It looks good, but I don't think it's going to set up in time. 20 seconds. It had to reach up there quick. Oh, I was thinking, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but on Friday, all day long, if you looked at Nasdaq, price was pushing up. Price was pushing up, but Delta was slowly going down. It was very weird, right? It was just hard to it was hard to look at. And so price is pushing down. I mean, price is pushing up, Delta's pushing down, and I was like, what is going on? And it was over an extended period of time, like hours. And so I'm sitting here and I'm asking myself the question, I'm like, how can we have so much aggressive selling, but price is going up? And then I started to realize that it was the last day for the contract. So that means that my thought process on it is that, and this is something I'm going to really think about moving forward, is that we really got to be careful around those times, especially if you're doing any kind of order flow trading, because if you're trading anything order flow, it did not make any sense whatsoever. One of the things that gives me a lot of confidence with futures is trading order flow in combination with these tools, where I can see, that like this is a good volume area right here. This is an area where I could see absorption, some kind of order flow related type of stuff, then combine that with these tools. Well, that didn't work on Friday. And I what I really think it was because people had to get out of the old contract, right? So they weren't going to be able to trade it. So what I'm thinking was happening is there was a lot of, like, it could be position people selling, right, closing positions, things like that. So what, I don't know, in my mind is what I'm thinking is that it was people slow, like closing throughout the day, closing their trades, selling. And so I'm thinking that that's why we seen Delta going down all day, yet price was still lifting up because of some weird phenomenon about, the end of the contract. It just literally made no sense. I could not figure it out. So, yeah, that was weird. All day Friday. More in the afternoon than, like, in our early morning time, it was still pretty easy trading, but in the afternoon, yeah, it was weird. It's Titan setting up right here right now. It's divergent delta. So it doesn't, it may work, but it doesn't look very good to me. So um I'm not gonna take this one here. You can see exactly what I mean right here. This is Nasdaq, and you can see Delta's gone flat. So we're trying to push up and go higher, while Delta is refusing to push higher. So we don't have cooperation. I I don't know if you're talking to me. I could hear you, but barely. What are you talking to me? Oh, okay, yeah, fine. Man, I'm confused. I'm like, what is he talking about? Yeah, no, that's okay. That's all right. By the way, I don't know if you're talking about my stream or somebody else's, but if you're on, for any of you guys that seen the stream on Facebook or YouTube or something like that, and then you're in STS, always make sure you're joining this specific stream through Discord. This Discord is the only place where it's like 100% live. I'm actually streaming it in a little bit different way this morning, just because I need to update some software and I didn't have time. I didn't know I needed to update it until I woke up this morning. So, yeah, you guys make sure that if you're in STS, make sure that you're joining the call directly through Discord, because it's real time, live as fast as possible. I've seen a delay on y- Facebook and YouTube of up to, like, sometimes like 1 to 2 minutes, if not longer than that. So just make sure that you're tuning in real time if you have the ability. We're Nasdaq. We're coming back to retest VWAP right now. VWAP in the midpoint of the day. POCs at 700. So basically, everything is down below us, and we're retesting that area now. The first time since open that we've kind of broke out of this little area of consolidation. So I'm interested to see if it, fall ends up falling back down into this area, or if it rejects out of here. I think it looks like this at the best. Had our low, made our high, fake broke the high, fake broke the low, pushed out, retest, continue. Now here we are again. So, and we are like actually at midpoint. I could see buyers stepping in passively right now, not aggressively yet. Well, yeah, a little aggressive. It could be worth checking out. Hmm, Can't open it for some reason. That is so annoying. Well, I was thinking about buying this, but for some reason I wasn't synced up, and that was so. This is a really good low risk opportunity there, but I couldn't do it fast enough. Or might still give me this opportunity because the reason I'm saying it's low risk is because I could put the stop directly below the low, and this may end up being a flush style trade. So it'd be like 10 points or 10 points or so. If you got in lower, like lower down in this area, it'd be 10 points for 10 points. Mm, mm, mm. Don't know why. Nope. She pushing. She pushing. No, that didn't work. Little 10 pointers. Look, now it does another flush right there. Mm. Nah, that one didn't set up the way I like it to for a flush style trade. Looks like we're getting something on gold here. That didn't work on gold either. We just tapped the POC on Nasdaq. I'm trying to see if we get some kind of a pop to the upside on Nasdaq. That's what I'm looking for. I'm just waiting for any kind of divergence in Delta right now. So right now, gold is pushing down pretty good Delta wise, and Nasdaq is pushing down pretty good Delta wise. Um, Nasdaq's starting to get a little weird, making this higher high right here, while Delta now Delta is also making a higher high, so might be happening. We'll see. If it sets up like this though, it'd be impossible for me to try to get in or do anything. Long wick like that and then strong close just sets up for a really wide trade. Yeah, yeah. Mm. Hmm. Put down a set down my Celsius somewhere and I've lost it. It has ran away. Delta's going a little flat in the last couple candles. This thing was like, I'm hanging on no matter what. It made it though, by a thread. All right, is this? No, the daily low's down at 632. This is just it's a miniature low. I can see some pretty big. Well, it went away. I was about to say I can see some pretty big sell limits, kind of chasing price down. Sometimes when you see that, it means somebody's kind of absorbing any buys that come up. So they'll chase price down with a big sell limit. So as buyers try to step in, it smacks that sell limit and keeps getting pushed down. So absorption just real time as prices going down, but it did disappear. Now I just see orders stacked down at 680. One. Nice. Nice little win on gold there. It's just and gold just looks to be dropping. Oh, nice. Nice. Even when it came down to this zone, so you mean? Oh, all right. I gotcha. I'm on the 1 minute, so you wouldn't. Yeah. Hmm. Easy money, huh? Just back up the truck and load it up. Yeah. 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 Hmm. You should have. I'm telling you, I wish you would have been there whenever I made it. I instantly. It was at night, just like random, like, and I'm in Arizona, so if it's late here, like it's really late other places. And I was just sitting here and I was working, and it was about 9:30 at night, which is like at the time was like 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I said, "Hold up, wait a minute, guys, you have to try this immediately." Like, I went and I just added it to everybody's account immediately. As soon as I seen it with the zones all lined up, I was like, "This is." I was like, I just instantly seen that there was a lot of potential with that one. Sometimes you just look at it and you know what I mean. You'll look at a strategy and be like, "Oh, okay, I could see there's a lot of potential here." Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yep. Oh, you know what? I just realized 10 o'clock came by. We didn't even like look for anything crazy to happen at 10. Normally, at 10 o'clock, we're watching real close to see what happens. Let's see what did. No way. It started dropping over at 10. Look at that. I'll tell you what, if price later starts heading back up, you gotta watch that. One day, I hope one day everyone is using Addis or a pro man, if TradingView would ever do what Addis has done, it would be next level where you can like being able to see the true volume, being able to see the true volume. Oh, hold on. Let me see something here. Look like a flush on gold. But oh, it didn't close. It didn't close above the spot that I like it to close. So, but anyway, so being able to see that true volume on the platform, that's obviously just like a freebie. Like, yeah, you need that. But the thing that I really like the most is being able to see that footprint chart and the volume profile that's built into the candle. So, like, if y'all notice when I zoom in on my candles, you see the footprint chart, but you could also see a profile. And that when I do that, man, it gives me so many ideas. And like that candle, that 10 o'clock candle, when I look at it on Nasdaq, it's just patterns that I've started to notice. Like the 10 o'clock candle is it's it's different. Like something's different about that candle, like how the volume is distributed throughout it. It's a weird candle. Like normally candles have a distinct distribution profile. And they could be broken up a lot of times into what's called a D pattern, a B pattern, or a P pattern, right? All the volumes up at the top, that's going to look like a P, right? If you drew it like oh wait, I have profiles right here. So you see, like this is considered more like a D. You can see it's kind of balanced, it's shaped like a D. This right here would be considered a P if you were to um draw on it, right? You've got a P. This one's more of a D, right? And then this is when I say double, where you've got kind of two areas of distribution, right? And you got it right here. There's a this is a perfectly balanced profile right here. But I think yeah, I did this on purpose. I combined those together because they were two balanced, pretty balanced profiles. So I just combined those. But anyway, you see here's a more of a P shaped one. And you'll see down at the at bottoms and stuff like that is where you'll see more of the D shape like this. Well, anyway, normally you you'll see a B or a D or a P shaped profile and it fits the candle. It's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like I could see why, this is a B shaped candle, profile, because you could see that the candle opened and, all the volume collected down in the bottom and then bam, it shot up right at in the last 10 minutes of the candle. So it basically spent all of its time down here, like this one did, all day long, building up volume. Then at the very last part of the day, shot up. So we had just, a very obvious type of distribution. But when you see that at 10 o'clock and at different times in the day, like that 10 o'clock candle on a 1 minute is a P-shaped distribution profile. All the volumes up at the top of it and the candle body, it just doesn't, it's like you're looking and you're like, that doesn't match that candle body. Like it just doesn't look right. And so being able to see all that volume and stuff inside of it, it's just I think it opens up a lot of opportunity or at least more context. And that doesn't help. I mean, that doesn't hurt when you're trading. All right. I can't believe I lost a whole Celsius around here somewhere. P. Yeah, no, I'm just messing around. I was getting a screenshot of my results. Yeah, the easiest way is to just go into Trade Ovate, top right corner, you'll see your somewhere in the top right corner, you'll see your reports, and if you just click on that. Oh, okay. So look, you see on my screen, you see in the bottom corner this little button that says type here to search, bottom left corner. Just open that and type snip, like snipping tool, and see if you have that. That's how I've No, no, this is on your look at my screen on your actual computer, the search section, and then just type snipping tool, and that should open a little thing up. It should look something kind of like this if you look at my screen. If you just click on new, then it'll let you select the area that you want to share. That is so trippy. All right, that echo. But it's probably because I'm coming through your computer speakers and then you have a mic in front of you, so your mic is picking up my voice from your computer speakers. So the only thing you could really do is either have a headset or mute whenever you're not talking. Basically, basically mute when you talk, and then unmute, and then unmute when you talk, and then mute when you're just listening. Cool. That's all right. We will most definitely remind you. We're pretty quick about that. We're like, hot mic, echo. Somebody fix it now. It's funny. Yeah, yeah, it is just like that too. I know. You say like 3 words on a hot mic and like 6 people attack you. "Your mic! Turn it off!" Yeah, that's funny. Over time, we've had more people we've had some people that are just they're just like really bad with it, like every day, hot mic type of situation. And it really doesn't bother me or anything, but it is funny to see everybody. And I gave everybody permission to just kick people out too, but I think people feel more rude about just kicking somebody than to just ask them like, "Hey, your mic?" All right, you guys. I'm gonna run and grab something real quick, and then I'll come right back. I'm just gonna leave this here. It's kind of slow, kind of boring, as you guys see. Not a whole lot is going on. This is Christmas week, so we should probably expect it's gonna be slow-ish. I've got a little bit of profit right now across all the accounts. Two of those were Titans. Two of those were order flow, and I don't know where the extra one comes in, but I've taken two Titans and two order flows. So I took yeah, somewhere in here. There's been a lot of signals this morning, so snagged a few of them. If you zoom out a little bit, I'm only going to be gone for about 5 minutes, but if you'll just zoom out, both of these are kind of well, especially gold. So gold, you can clearly see the range, and then look at Nasdaq all night, right? Trend, and then boom, we opened, we dropped, right? We came down below these lows, and now to me, what it looks like is we're just kind of in this area here. So this, I don't know exactly where the high of the range is, but based on strictly the price action, I the way I mark it up, I'd have to go all the way up to here. I'd like to do it here, but I could see that price traded on top of that. So this is definitely not a fake break. Price did accept into this area. So I would watch the high all the way up there. And these areas have been pretty obvious that each time price comes down here, you see how it responds by retracting back into the zone very quickly, right? So it's coming back in quickly. Now I see what you guys probably see as well, which is that like this area more down here is kind of seems to be where price is staying at right now. So you can watch that, but just remember that if you're trying to trade like breaks up above here, to me, we're still inside of that range. But I do see that we're spending most of our time down here. So, maybe seeing a break up above here with a Titan, you could look to buy up into this top part. But some of the safest areas to trade is going to be down here at the low with a clear rejection. It's always easier to watch some traders fail and then you hop on the other side, because if look, the thing is price is going to go up or down. So if it tries to break the low and it fails, there's only one reason it would fail, and it would either be that there is an exhaustion in sellers, which is unlikely, right? If they push it down there to break the lows, I doubt that they're going to all of a sudden run out of willing sellers. In fact, I think a lot of sellers would pile in, especially if we broke these lows there. So we have sellers piling in here. If it doesn't continue below there, right? If we don't have actual acceptance below here, meaning like what I look for to see acceptance is I want to see price start to overlap and rotate inside below this range right here. If it just dips and then comes back in, that is rejection. And so from there, looking for a reason to buy. And so again, I don't want to mess nobody up, but something that I like to do is if I'm watching price break this 1 minute low right here, this range that we've created, if you look on smaller time frames, I've mentioned this to other people, and some people use it, some don't. Again, I don't want to mess people up and make them change different time frames, but I'm just saying that if you were looking in this area when price reaches that area and you're thinking buy, I've looked down on lower time frames and you'll see Titan signals setting up. See, like we don't see a Titan signal here or here. Actually, I think there might have been a Titan signal right here, but I have it turned off. So oh, those are zones. Titan. Yeah, see, there we go. There was a Titan right there. So anyway, see how it just broke there. If you're looking at lower time frames, especially if you're trying to look for a reason to get in, if you were going to do price action or something like that, I'm not saying to always trade a 15-second time frame, but a lot of times if you're already expecting price to come down here, break these lows like it's doing right now, remember the lowest risk place is right here where it just went down and touched. That's absolutely the lowest risk spot, because if it goes lower, it's not rejecting it. So, if see, and then look, this is going to be a Titan signal setting up in 5 seconds. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So if you'd go down there and start looking at signals when they're down here, hold on, I got to put Titan on. This is exactly what I was talking about right there. So it's possible. I'm not saying you have to take the Titan signal. I'm just saying when you see the Titan signal set up, hey, it's a Titan signal. It's setting up. If you're looking for a reason to enter and you're looking for some structure, you could most definitely take a Titan trade, or you could just say, "Oh, look, a Titan trade set up down there at the low." Ken says normally it flushes right there. We're looking for buys as it breaks the low, and we want to get in. So just saying. Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. I am not too sure. I've always had the same. So I'm not too sure if you have second charts or not. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so I just know that look, the thing is we're looking at the 1 minute, we're finding these levels. They're pretty simple. Look at I mean, we could see those lows that I just pointed out there. If price goes down and sweeps those lows and we sit there and watch, if we wait for a Titan signal to set up, then a lot of times that means that price pushed down, then it turned around and it pushed back up into that area, closed an opposite color candle. It's a sign of a continuation. So and the reason I say to go look at it on the smaller time frames is not so much to trade the smaller time frame Titan, but to just get that confirmation that we're seeing the turnaround there. And then you can look for a trade. And if it's down near the low, which this is, you know, kind of hanging out here longer than I anticipated it to, but this is not um what we normally look for in a clear flush. Normally, it's price pushes down, closes, next candle opens, closes. This looked like a perfect flush. This pattern right here, just push down, close back up, strong close on the bearish side with sellers, strong close on the bullish side with buyers, and then you go like that, put your stops right. I like to go about a tick below there, and then do like a 1-to-1. Like this is the type of trade you'd really be looking for, is something like that right there. If it's going to hold up there, I can't guarantee if it does or not. Actually, I think it broke below. Yeah, it did. So that one, no flush. Let me look at it on the one. Yeah. Coming right back down to where the old POC was from last night. She most definitely did not flush. What'd you say? So if you've taken a screenshot, you can just paste it into Discord. Yep, you can just paste it right into Discord, and then basically when you take a screenshot, it automatically copies it, and then you're ready to paste. All right, I'm watching this pretty close because I know that I've been talking about buying it, but that's what I always do, and so now we're making a new low as we speak, for the day. So we're at the low. We broke the low. And 1 minute close. Not is not the best close for to see trapped sellers. It was kind of a crappy close there. Yeah, it went right down to it. I think it was basically yesterday's low, but yeah, the 628. Yeah. Okay. I will be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Looks like we had a couple of winners back to back here, huh? Couple winners. I walked away and left a trade I took right here. I got in. Let's see, 640, right about here, and I got out all the way there. So that was probably my biggest trade, and should have me over my goal. Yeah, it was a pretty nice one there. That's why I said I was just gonna walk away because it was taking a minute. It was a simple flush, came down, new low of the day, new low of everything for everything, and it flushed, set up, slowly rotated out of there. And I said, you know what? Let me just go ahead and leave, and then I'll come back. And yeah, that's puts me right above my goal. So I'm done. I'm done with my actual trading. That was a really great trade. Um, these were my results before, and as you see, these are the results right after. I guess those should be swapped. So about 600 bucks off of that one. I told you I wanted to buy that. I just had to wait long enough. Christmas is coming early. Oh, I found my Celsius. The whole reason I left was because I was like, you know what? I ran out of Celsius at the house. And I said, and I was drinking one and I had like half of it left and I set it down somewhere and I could not find it anywhere. I looked all over the place. No drink, nowhere. It's vanished. As I was leaving my house, I went through the garage way instead of the front way, and there's like a little sitting area on the side, and I was actually like backing up, and I happened to look over at that sitting area and I saw my Celsius there. So at some point, I was talking to you guys and I moved from my office to the sitting area and I brought my Celsius. Mystery solved. But I went and bought one anyways because that one was old now. It was abandoned and there could have been a bug in it. All right, new high of the day for gold. We're pushing it as we speak. What? Sure is. Watching it move 10 points, I mean $10 at a time. It's just opened up just before the session opened today. We were up above in the in 460s, dropped down to 450. Now we just tapped 470. Um, this looks like a good flush style trade. I just wish I could get it at a higher price instead of where it's at right now. Maybe even try to even trade it back down to 65 or something like that. It sure does. Yeah. I know it's crazy to watch it, just see it swing $10 at a time, $10 at a time. But if you'll pay attention to those areas, they work great as key levels for gold specifically. You kind of have to find key levels for each one, but $10 levels seem to be pretty impactful on gold. I remember when I first, huh, on the 5 minute, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, what it do? It tore straight through the 60s. I could see it at least coming back down to 66. I know, yeah, obviously 65. It could go all the way to 60 for all I know. But I mean, I like to go right outside of the norm. So like, all right, if it ran up to 70, yes, there's a big chance that it'll go back to 55, but I'll target 66 instead. Because because it's like I don't know, but there it goes. It just hit 55. I took profit at 66. Yep. Nice, nice. Yeah, I got it right here. This is Nasdaq over here, and this is gold right here. You see where I went in. The only thing that I changed about it was because, like I said, this was too big. I mean, it wasn't. By the way, I could have taken this trade, exactly the way it was. This is only $270 risk. High of the day. We're at 470. Delta has gone up, 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 right? And then bam, we've got sellers step in. I mean, you could clearly see it. It went from buyers to sellers. And then what happened was this pulled back and then turned around and I entered and I just put my stop right above the wick of that candle. So instead of taking the whole $270 risk, it was $130 and I targeted 66, which a $250 profit. So basically a 1 to 2. You can see the entry there, stop entry there, TP there. That 66 level was feeling safe. I guess we went all the way down to 64, but whatever. We tapped the value area high. Wasn't really expecting to take another trade, but here we are. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't have gotten a lower risk than $130. I could sneeze and lose $130. 130 bucks for 250 times 20. I'll take it. A low risk trade is always a good trade, in my opinion. You can always take a trade and you can always lose a trade. But and see, I keep trying to tell people this. I don't know how much they understand it when I say it, but you can hunt, you can intentionally hunt for low risk trades. And I've explained what a low risk trade really is many times, but you can hunt for a low risk trade. But I have the tendency to spot a low risk trade where I will be on the chart open to opportunity, but I'm just observing. And then that's how quick these things happen, where you're just sitting there and then boom, you're like, oh, that just made this low risk. And then you take the trade. Or it'll be like I'm looking at a setup, and I'm thinking about trading it, and I'm like, "Yeah, that looks good. I could see how this would work, blah, 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 blah." And then, like, as I'm looking at it, it does something that decreases the risk on it, and then I could take a stab at that trade. I'm not afraid to lose as long as I know that all of my positions are calculated, and then when a low risk trade happens right in front of me, I can take advantage of it. And the best part about low risk trades is they typically are low risk. And because of the nature of the low risk part of it, um, because of the nature of the low risk part of it, it automatically has more reward. And you can I can show you this every single day. If you'll look in at my stuff here, hold on. Am I on the right account? Yes. If you'll look at my numbers, I'm never I mean, very rarely am I at a 100%. Sometimes I have a 100% win rate, but I don't even like showing that off. I think it's more impressive to see some losses and see how you manage them. But you can see today, largest winning trade was 845. Large out of all the trades I took, my largest losing trade was $250, which my max risk, what I'm willing to risk up to is 500. So that means that I found some pretty good trades today in order to only lose $250 when I am allowing up to 500. And then those lower risk trades, see, I'm definitely not aiming to make 845 in one trade, but that that trade came from what? Hold on. Oh, that trade came from this move right here. I got in here and got out there. So this was a good one today, right there. That was the one that I made the 845 on, my big one. But even something like this is low risk because look, we're retesting this zone here. You can make anything low risk. You could enter here with one contract and you could target even say with just 1 to 1. You're risking 100. Let's say you're risking $200 for $200 profit right here. But anywhere you enter deeper into here with the same contract size, all that does is decrease. As you can see visually, it decreases the risk and increases the reward if you use the same TP. So if you were already going to set it up just like this, but then you happen to look at it and you're like, oh well, it's in here instead. So even better, I can get an even better entry. Go for that. Or if you see a trade right here, always go for those because especially if your strategy, normally this will hold right here. Well, the stop loss should be right here. One tick on the other side of it. Take that $30 loss. Take the $30 loss instead of a $300 loss. Wow, look at that. Right off the zone. Mhm. Guess that Addis is actually about to release a new version. I'm hoping to be invited or accepted, I should say, as a beta tester. I think it's great already, but there's obviously some room for improvements. And from what I'm seeing, they have decided to make some of those improvements. So it's supposed to be lighter, faster, um, bug fixes, things like that. So I'm waiting. I already applied for it, and I am waiting. That's a little double dipper action right here. Hold on a second. Did it do the double dip? Oh, it did. Mm-mm-mm. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Look at that. Gave us one entry that went to TP, then came back and gave us a double dipper action and went right back to TP. Naughty little elf. Yeah, but anyways, pretty excited to try that out. See if they what type of improvements they've made and have a chance to give some feedback, because if I could get some feedback in there to them and they would actually listen to it, that would be awesome. Might just have them build in the Titan. How about that? I think that things like that actually may be possible, because I've seen a section on Addis that is like an add-on section where if you want to, you can, like, on somewhere on their website they have like an add-on section, and I noticed if you click on it, it'll send you to a third party website, and then you purchase there and then install it onto your Addis. So I bet there is opportunity for something like that. I don't know how much demand we would have for it, but what's up? I think that Deep Charts is a white label of Addis. Is it not? Yeah, I think Deep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Deep Charts is like a um it is Addis, but it's white labeled. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, yeah. I'm looking at their website right now. It's exactly it's exactly Addis. You might be able to get it cheaper. I don't know for sure, but it's yeah, it is 100% the exact same platform. That's how much Addis is pretty much. So you could use deep charts. Um, you could use deep charts, or you could use Addis. I'm looking at Deep Charts website right now. Yeah, everything about it looks the exact same as Addis. So I don't see why you'd want one over the other. Besides price, I don't know. Everything. Yeah, I'm looking at like the order panel, the trade copier. Everything's the exact same. Mhm. And they got a Christmas sale. Well, so Addis also has a Christmas sale going on right now. So I saw it when I logged in this morning. But so yeah, on deep charts. The only thing I could say is if you go with deep charts, I'm not going to be able to support it because I've never used deep charts. So with Addis, I'm getting really good. Unfortunately, I'm getting really good at like troubleshooting and figuring out little. All platforms have like little gotta figure it out type of things. And so I've really been getting Addis figured out. There's a couple little things that they're like little hangups when you're using a trading platform that's connecting three different things, right? Where you have Addis and then you're inputting data from one place, then you're inputting trading account from another, and then you have NinjaTrader, but then you also have Apex. It's like a lot of routing. Addis handles it fairly good, but it does get stuck. Not so much that the orders get stuck and can't be deleted, but they actually get stuck on my chart on like the orders are gone, but they're still appearing on my chart. But so it freaks you out, it freaks you out at first. But what I did was I just kept trade ovate up at all times. I always kept trade ovate up. That way, if I press some buttons and I seen some orders left on my screen, I could at least quickly look over to trade ovate and verify, okay, yes, the orders are gone. And then unfortunately, sometimes you just have to disconnect from NinjaTrader and reconnect and they'll disappear, or you have to actually close Addis and reopen it. But who knows? Maybe with this new update that they've done, maybe they've cleaned that up a little bit. Yeah, no worries. A lot of people a lot of people know about deep charts because of that trading interview. I can't remember the guy's name, but you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Right. Yeah, so somebody sent me that video because they said, "Hey, that this platform looks," and they said your template looks exactly like what this guy's using. I looked it up and I noticed that it was like it looks very, very similar, but little bits of differences. And so sooner or later I figured it out that it's deep charts or whatever. But like what's really familiar to most people, which I actually removed off of mine because I don't use it enough, is the big trades indicator, which were those bubbles that were appearing on his. You could see them right here, so I don't really need them to be on my chart. I can see, here they come in right here. I can see buys are coming in there, or where the sells are coming in. And if I needed to, I could make that bigger. But this shows the same type of information, but it also shows levels of liquidity or levels, of where liquidity is. Like I know there are 16 orders sitting right here and sitting, 11 here and 19 buy limits there. And so I I prefer this. I don't know. I've went back and forth on it, but I prefer this one over having it right there on my chart. I try to, believe it or not, I actually try to keep this thing kind of clean. I know it looks like there's a lot of lines on there, but all these lines mean something very specific. So, I mean, this is simple. This is just a volume profile for the day. There's a TPO for the day. And then all of these lines, this is just the daily high and low. And then this is value area high and then round levels. So keep it minimum. I can zoom in. I can see my stuff here. A lot of what he's talking about in that video is institutional order flow. Just really exactly, it is exactly what I talk about every single day, which is just identifying when the bigger players are absorbing the smaller players. If you can train your eyes to see when that's happening, you're not going to be right every single time, but it's going to give you a huge edge. You're going to be at least when you're right. It's going to be those effortless style trades where you feel like you kind of have the wind on your back because you're trading with them and not against them. So it's not going to be slow grinding moves. You're going to actually get into trades that move into profit very quickly, but your job is going to have to be good risk management to where, you might enter here thinking that this was the flush and you could confirm it every which way you want and say, "Yep, yep, yep, this is it," and then you lose the trade. But as long as you make sure that you manage your risk correctly, then okay, no worries, no problem. Now, bam, you lost that one, but you could try it again here, and you can go in, you can manage your risk, and then set your reward, and you've got good probable TP, and then you boom, you take your trade, and you're good. You're still using a different platform, learning order flow, learning this, learning that, all that kind of stuff. You're still going to lose trades, but you are just refining your edge. That's all there is to it. Um, I'm almost scared to teach order flow to people because I know that some people are going to use it as an edge and other people are going to not do good with it. You know, they're going to sometimes when you give somebody extra opportunities, they abuse it. It's something that happens. Instead of using it as a tool, they overuse it or overdo it or something. But I'm gonna teach it anyways. Darren, there's a winner for you right there. I see that one. One candle breakout. This one right here that just set up. Freaking set up and bam, broke out instantly. This is on a 1 minute though. I don't know if you're watching one. Oh, this is on gold. My bad. Yeah. Mm, Let me try. Yeah. Yeah. It's just not there on micro. Oh yeah. Yeah, it popped straight out of there. Mhm. Yeah, we've had a couple really good ones. Like these right here, these are the ones that I really like where you have the zone pop up. So you have one indication here when this candle closed, you got this green zone to pop up right here. But then at the same time, what ended up happening is you had bullish candle, bearish candle, and you would have so when this candle closed right here, you got the green zone, plus this would have printed and said pending buy, and it would have had the buy listed right up above the high of these candles here. So then it would have triggered that. So you actually altogether you had a Titan signal and you had the zone. So you had the that would have included the TP for the zone plus the Titan TP, which probably would have may have extended it out, yeah, just a little bit, but I like those. Those are perfect right here, just like this. Plus, you're trading into a red zone, so it's like, okay, well, if we beat this zone and we created this zone, where are we going next? Probably the red zone. Cedric, what are you doing? I haven't heard from you. Just chilling. Mm. Oh, if you're using TradingView, you're on a lag. Is that what you mean? I see what you mean. Well, Well, I could still see some of this stuff working even with a 5 second delay. So if you think of it this way, um, this closes, right? If this is on a 1 minute, this closes, and then as long as it doesn't break out within 5 seconds, you're gonna have the same entry in the stop loss, right? So you're gonna have that. The other thing is if keep hmm trying to work it. Well, you can always, I'll try to keep my screen up and on this trading view right here so you can see. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Right. Well, next, well, it's all temporary. Everything's always temporary. It is. That's one thing. That's one thing for sure. Never know when things can change. So it could change any which way. But still, I think you can do some stuff. So, like, all right, if you're on Tradeovate, you know, and if you don't know, you can check with me. But by now, you should. I don't need the only thing that I actually use the Titan for is the contract size. The pattern itself is very, very clear. So if you're sitting there, like, if you're sitting there and you're seeing a bullish candle and you see a bearish candle close right next to it, like this candle right here, if we see a bearish candle close next to a bullish candle, we know that you know right here where the entry is going to be. You should, and I can teach you if you don't know, but the entry is going to be right here. The stop loss is going to be right there or here. I can't remember. Either way, it's going to be below one of the other of these, and then obviously the TP is going to be a 1-to-1. So it's not going to be as easy. That's why these tools are so crucial, because of how easy it makes it. Everything's perfectly right down the chart for you, but you could do it. You're also going to have to use the calculator that I built on the website. So not going to be as easy, but it's possible. See, there you go. You can see there the entry popped up right there. Stop loss is the bottom of this candle plus one tick. The candle that's in the pattern, and then of course your TP is going to be half of that or the whole thing. Before I made the indicator, I would use fibs, so I would actually measure, the distance between. All right, if my stop loss is here and my TP is there, my entry is here and my stop loss is right there. Then if you have your fibs on here, then you could go in and you can add, where is it? 1.5. Did it add it or not? Well, I don't see it. I don't know. You had to mess around with it. Oh yeah. Oh, it added it to the bottom. I'm drawing them upside down. But yeah, same deal. But you just have to measure it the opposite way, where it's like there's that candle, there's that candle, and anyway, you got your entry, and you got your stop loss, and then your TP would be that extension level that you made. But either way, I know it's not easy doing it that way. Is there not some way to like sign up for a trial with a different email address or something like that? Have you tried doing anything like that? Mm, yeah, yeah. Well, the next best thing that you could do, look, I got solutions after solution, is this. You need to you find out if you're trading micros or if you're trading Nasdaq. If you'll go into Chat GBT, the easiest thing to do is you could ask Chat GBT, and this is for free. You could go in and you could ask Chat GBT and you could just ask it, say, create a simple table that helps me manage my risk when trading MNQ. And then make a new paragraph and say, I want to see one micro, for 10 points, 20 points, 30 points, 40 points, 50 points. That way, you know that if you're trading one micro, then um, how much your risk is going to be at 10 points, 20 points, 30 points, 40 points. If you're trading, if you could do the math quick in your head, then you don't need to have it create another table, but it'll do it for you. And you could say, okay, well, now what if I'm using two contracts? What if I'm using three contracts? And then that way, That way you have a little bit that way you have a little bit, like, like, let's say if we're deciding that we're going to sell up here, let's say we want to see price break up above the daily high, and we see it come up and it closes, and then it's coming back and it's pulling back here, and we know we're going to sell right here. Well, you could start calculating that, and you can say, all right, well, if we sell in this area, I've got a 10-point stop loss. So that means that based on 10 points and how much I want to risk, I could trade five micros right here. You know what I mean? Gotta adapt and make it work. All right. Speaking of it, we are at the daily high. Daily high, daily high. Let's see. So we're at the daily high. Delta is divergent. Look at the delta is not really going up. It's actually going down. So they're selling hard into this candle as it's pushing up above its high. That's always a pretty good sign that it could reverse. Just gotta wait and watch. Literally, big giant red delta candle, all divergent. 166 limit order sitting at 478, right above the high of this current candle here. I'd say I'd want to sell this if it keeps going down lower like that. It's like a gap. What is that? And a nice little red zone. There it is. There it is. There's another. There's another little profit. 200 $200 risk for a $200 profit, right straight off the top, or $170 risk for a $200 profit. If you took profit, if you kept like I took profit because I was chicken, but if you held on to it, this sucker's going straight down to 70 probably. 470 is what I mean. Yep. To it hit 470 to the tick. Cedric. All right, let's see here. Let me see. Let me see. Add any stuff you want. So I think I made one for you. I'm gonna put this available for download, but I think that this would work. This gives you different options. So look, micro trading one contract. If you're just trading one micro, and I need to double check the math on this just to make sure, but if you used a 5 point stop loss, that's a $10 risk, right? So using one micro. So I could probably make it where you could just change it to 2 micros, 3 micros, you know what I mean? And it would update the table. But if you were just using 1 micro for now, you could basically, if you were risking up to $200 risk per trade, your maximum setup size would be 100 points. I don't think you're going to touch anything over 100 point. I think normally our stop losses are like, I don't know. I don't know how many points. I don't really measure them in points that often, but they're under 100, I'm pretty sure. But this lets you know, like it gives you an idea, right? So if you've seen something setting up, you could say, okay, I see a 20-point setup. All right, if my stop loss is 20 points and I use one contract, that's a $40 risk. Obviously, if you wanted to risk $80, that would be two contracts. So do you want me to send this to you so you can download it? All right. Do you are you trading one micro right now? Or are you trading more micros? Or how much are you risking per trade? Oh, okay. All right. 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 Okay, so I'll send you this. Now I have this that's already built, right? Where you say, all right, I want to risk $200 total risk. Right. This is on the website. You can find this in the back office. So, all right, I'm going to risk $200. I'm trading micro. And then it'll show this little table right here. You can change it, to points or to ticks. But let's say you're trading points and it'll tell you, so 200, if you want to risk $200 total, then it's going to tell you the right contract size based on, so really what? Yeah, you already have access to this. You can just, literally, like, if you're about to take a trade and you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be about 35 points," if you'll preset all of this stuff right here, $200, select micro, make sure you select micro, not mini, put it into points mode, and when you're getting ready to take a trade, just keep this off to the side somewhere, small, just off to the side, and you look at it and you measure it and you say, "Oh, that's gonna be 25 points." If you'll just type in 25, it's going to tell you exactly how many contracts. And I've double, triple checked the math inside of this multiple times. So if you want to risk $200 and you have a 25-point stop loss, you need to use four contracts. And that's based on 25-point stop loss from entry to TP. If it's a 50-point stop loss, then it's going to be two contracts. If it's 13, then it's going to be seven. So all you would need to do is set it up one time and then just have it off to the side or have it on your phone, even better, and then that way when you see a setup, you can just quickly type in 14 points. And then now okay, I'm using set. If I take this trade, I am, looking for seven contracts on it. This might actually work better for you than using the thing that I was just, this right here, this little table. Yeah, static. Yeah. And then if you don't want to enter the size, if you know that you're kind of like, changing your points, like, sometimes it's 10 points, whatever, you can pretty quickly just kind of move around in here, like, oh, it's 46 points, that's two contracts. Oh, it's 61 points, that's one contract. It's 32, that's three. Or just type it in 15, or 12 or whatever, and it'll pop it up. I think that'd probably be the easiest way. But I am actually about to hop off. I'm going to take a little break before the mentorship webinar that we have at 12. So I'll see you guys. I'll see mentorship on webinar here in about 20 minutes. I'll see everybody else tomorrow morning. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you then. You too. You're welcome. Bye bye.